message. How did you even do that? I wasn't sure anyone on the surface would have a chance to crack Trinity. You know, the encryption algorithm.
Trinity? What's that?
Trinity is an encryption system with a cipher, or key cut up into many pieces. You need several pieces in the correct order to unlock it. I put a Trinity piece with every synth I helped escape. It was a long shot, but I was hoping some good Samaritan would connect it all together.
Who are you?
I'm Liam Benet. My father runs synth development, and everyone knows who you are.
A friend named Tinker Tom cracked your encryption.
He must have had some serious hardware to pull that off. Wow, your message was only one word. Friend. What did you mean by that?
The Railroad sent me to look for someone they called Patriot. That's you.
What? The Railroad? As in the Railroad? And they gave me a code name too? I kept sending synths to the surface hoping someone would help them. I hoped the Railroad got to some of them, but I never knew for certain.
How did you help synths escape?
Through hacking. The departments focus their best talents on hard science. Why waste time on terminal security, right? The SRB is the exception, and unfortunately, they control which synths go to the surface. But a forged work order from, let's say, bioscience can get a hand-picked synth on surface detail. And it turns out the Railroad was waiting for them. Wow.
Why are you helping synths?
At first, I just wanted to see if I could get away with it. It was a challenge, you know? But then I realized the synths are really just like us, except without any freedom. I decided to help the ones that wanted to escape so they can have a better life.
You saved a lot of synths.
So much to take in. But wait, with you in the picture, I have this idea. To rescue a lot of synths at once. But we'll need help. Where's he working now? Right. Let's go to the West Atrium. Probably best to talk about something else right now. You know my father thinks it's a living hell on the surface. But that can't be right. Heck, you look positively normal to me. No offense. I'm not sure if we could ever make the surface actually a decent place to live. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't at least try to help, you know? C-114, it's me.
Sir, do you require something?
It's okay, Z1. He's a friend. He's with the Railroad.
Meeting here is dangerous. And you bring a stranger. You. How do I know we can trust you?
Because the members of the Railroad have dedicated their lives to fight for your freedom.
I thought only Mr. Benet cared. But your friends actually fight for us?
That's what the Railroad does, Z1. He's from the surface.
I've never met another human willing to help. But, sir, we must make this quick.
Right now, how many synths want to escape, Z1?
The ones I know for certain? 13.
That'll take forever. Let's free those 13 all in one go.
I would do anything for my people. But how do we get them to the teleporter? It's no good. The old maintenance tunnels that lead there are always sealed. By the SRB.
If I can find a way to open those doors, could you get your synths to the teleporter room?
Yes. We'll talk later. Someplace more secure.
Just a few high-security doors, right? Controlled by cutting-edge SRB security tech. Yeah. A head-on hack is the sucker play. So we go at them sideways. You're willing to help, right? I can't do this alone.
What do you need help with?
Our core security architecture hasn't fundamentally changed from the old CIT days. The original security program was called Code Defender. Revolutionary stuff. We still have terminals running version 1, mothballed in storage. With some persuasion, I can get an old terminal to interface with the new security terminals. Enough to open doors, at least. Problem is, I can't even crack version 1. So I need a good old-fashioned username and a password. And that's nowhere to be found in the Institute. But if you could get me a pre-war admin password from the surface, I could log right in.
Where would I find that?
Unfortunately, I don't know. The obvious place won't work. The CIT ruins were picked clean years ago, but some of the admins had to live off campus. Ask your friends in the Railroad. I need those login credentials.
I've been waiting for you.
Yeah, the line at the car wash was super long. Took me forever.
Your attempt at humor is wasted. Our targets are inside. 4 synths under railroad protection. Majority of the settlement is uninvolved and are expected to run for cover. The situation appears to have escalated. A covert approach is likely impossible. The mission's parameters just changed. We go in shooting. Requesting backup relay now.
Sensor anomaly detected.
Need the key. Bring it!
They got him!
You there, Synth.
Come on, please. Just don't.
Why are you so afraid?
I don't want to go back. Please, don't make me go back.
Hey, X4.
We must proceed with the mission.
B-257, initiate reset. Authorization code Theta 93 Stratus. No sudden moves.
Please, no!
Y-915, initiate reset. Authorization code Beta 77 Tempest. I've been looking for you.
No, I've got money. It's yours if you let me go.
F-633, initiate reset. Authorization code Delta 62 Arcus. All right, Sam.
Please.
Z-322, initiate reset. Authorization code Gamma 49 Typhoon.
That's all of them. Objective complete. Return to the town. Make sure all hostiles are eliminated. I will relay the synths back to the Institute. Report to Father upon your return, and good work.
Bunker Hill is ours! Bunker Hill is ours!
Des has something urgent for you.
Have you met with Patriot yet?
I met Patriot. His name is Liam Benet.
I knew you'd get the job done. We need every scrap of intel you picked up in there. Write up a full report on Pam's terminal. After you're done, we'll analyze it and figure out the next step. Get to it.
Human-machine interface set to 100%. Hello, Agent. I could use your help in acquiring another DIA cache.
Did the DIA have a lot of these caches?
Exact number of caches is unknown. A small percent of my processing power is dedicated to analyzing stored records and breaking its encryption.
We've got an emergency. Glory spotted a courser near Dayton Safe House. Normally, we go to ground at the first sign of a courser. We hide deep, we hide long, until we know we're safe. But we can't abandon your infiltration of the Institute.
Preliminary
So we're
analysis
staying.
complete. Preliminary analysis complete.
Pam.
Preliminary analysis complete.
Anything we need to move on?
Affirmative. Codename Patriot requires admin credentials for Code Defender security software. Cross-indexing CIT security administrators with 2077 Commonwealth Census records. Filtering by surviving structures. One match found. Bergman. Wilfred. Bergman. Wilfred. Registered as co-owner of Cambridge Polymer Labs. Estimated 81% chance of login credentials being located at this facility.
What's at Cambridge Polymer?
Cambridge Polymer Labs, LLC, had several active military contracts, specializing in robotics. The region is currently classified as extremely dangerous.
After you get the password report back here. With any luck, we'll have a game plan by then.
Bet you never met a synth before Glory. Right. Hey, Dez is looking for you. You from one of those vaults?
I got the Code Defender password for Patriot.
Excellent work. On our side, we've gone through your report. It was extraordinary. So many pieces of the puzzle clicked into place. Our final analysis indicates the Institute is far more formidable than we ever feared or imagined. If we stage a mass breakout, Patriot's 13 synths will undoubtedly be the last we ever save. Instead, we use this one chance to rescue all the synths. Every last one of them.
Is that even possible?
Hopefully, Patriot's core escape plan will scale up. If it can't, well, we'll deal with it as it comes. The Institute will never let their slaves go without a fight. So the heart of our problem is manpower. Even if we call in all our agents, and we will, we won't be able to hold our own against the Institute for long. Talk with Z-114. If the synths down there want freedom, they must fight and risk their lives to earn it.
Z1 seems capable of that.
We always thought Patriot was the savior of the synths. But it may be more accurate to say that Z1 is. As much as we owe Patriot, we can't be certain how committed he is. If he learns we're willing to kill to free synths, he may not have the stomach for it. So get what you need from him and then cut him loose. Good luck. We're all with you.
We are honored to welcome you here.
Hey there.
I wouldn't be here, not for your son.
Nice work bringing that rogue synth back.
We must speak quickly. We cannot risk being discovered. I have made arrangements. I can get the 13 we discussed into position. But, tell me, do you think Mr. Benet's plan?
You having second thoughts?
I'd risk anything for my people. It's just that Mr. Benet is many things. But he isn't always the most practical. And this plan is very risky.
A better plan is to use this opportunity to rescue everyone. But synths will have to fight for it.
And I thought Mr. Benet's plan was too ambitious. Of course, I'd fight for my freedom. And I know of a few others that might as well. But enough to face all the guards? Perhaps if we stand up openly to the scientists, more of my people would join us. Yes. Even if most don't join the fight, certainly there are many others who have been waiting their whole lives for this. But we should be prepared for some of the synths to fight against us.
All people want to be free. They just need the opportunity to take it.
If the Railroad inspires everyone like you do, the SRB is wise to fear you. We will give my people an opportunity, and they will flock to us. I admire Mr. Benet a great deal, but we can't tell him about this plan. It's his people we'll be fighting. I will talk to my friends. Meet me here tomorrow. If I don't make our appointment, assume the worst.
Who's there? I'll wear your guts around my neck! Gonna be a good fight! I'll wear your guts around my neck!
Statistically speaking.
The Commonwealth is ours!
Stand still.
That's it. Sean.
You know, in all my years, I've never set foot outside the Institute. Not once. Since the day they brought me here. I've never had a reason. But now, this just confirms the truth I've always known. The Commonwealth is dead. There's no future here. The only hope for humanity lies below.
It's not so bad, really. People manage.
Perhaps. But at a cost too great to be worth it. standing here, I'm reminded of how fortunate I am that I was spared a life in this wasteland. I know that to you, I was kidnapped from that vault. In truth, the Institute rescued me. Both of us, really.
They left me on ice. For 60 years.
They did. And for good reason. I was the perfect candidate. An infant with uncorrupted DNA. But if something were to go wrong... Well, the Institute realized a contingency plan was prudent. Another source of pre-war DNA, preferably related to their primary subject. It only made sense that my parents should fill that role. So you were kept alive and safe within the vault. I'll admit, when I had you released from Vault 111, I had no expectations that you'd survive out here in all this. To not only do so, but manage to find me. To infiltrate the Institute itself. Extraordinary.
So it was you. You let me out.
Yes. It was my decision. Certainly it was no longer necessary to keep you suspended. Well, I suppose I wanted to see what would happen. An experiment of sorts. I had no idea what kind of man you were, you see. Would the Commonwealth corrupt you, as it has everything else? Would you even survive? Perhaps most curious to me, would you, after all this time, attempt to find me? And now I know the answer.
Sean, you need to know. I still love you.
I can see that you do. It's remarkable. There are greater things to come after your success at Bunker Hill. The synths have been safely returned and will be repurposed. Thank you for your work. I hope you weren't at too much risk.
What do you mean, the synths will be repurposed?
Modifications will be made to correct the defects in their programming, and they'll be assigned to new duties within the Institute. Not the first or last time it will happen. The Railroad remains an annoyance, of course, but they'll be dealt with as necessary. And you, well, you've passed the test, as they say. You have done well. Please, take this as a token of my appreciation. Our appreciation, really. It's time for you to become more involved in the future of the Institute. I'd like you to join me inside. The Directorate is meeting, and I'll be waiting. I've seen enough. It's time to go back in.
What others call complaining, I call critical thinking and challenging assumptions.
Let's get this Directorate meeting over with before we speak further. It's important.
Clayton.
Now's not really a good time.
Dr. Fillmore.
Can we maybe talk later?
Good, we're all here. I think it's time we begin.
Sir, excuse me, but what exactly is he doing here?
I will address that issue. But there are other subjects that require our attention first. The level of unrest in the Commonwealth continues to rise, as we're all aware. Your report.
All Institute facilities remain completely secure with the exception of one notable breach. Otherwise, internally things are as tight as they've ever been. Dr. Ayo has been keeping an eye on things topside.
Yes, Watchers show no additional threats beyond those previously identified. We're still monitoring the increased activity around Fort Independence, but there are no immediate signs we should be concerned. Boston International Airport remains occupied, with Brotherhood presence noted at several other points throughout the Commonwealth. Intelligence suggests that this railroad continues to operate and is becoming more ambitious. SRB agents are monitoring all known situations, sir.
Very good, thank you. It's clear that our safety needs to be the primary concern going forward. To that end, where are we on Phase 3?
Excuse me, but, sir, are you sure this is, well, the proper time to be discussing that? Considering, given all parties present?
Ah, yes, that's true. Have you heard anything about Phase 3?
What's Phase 3?
It's very important to us. Power is, as I'm sure you've seen above ground, a very valuable commodity. I'm not talking about some abstract concept of control. I mean real, tangible power. The kind that keeps the lights on. With every advance the Institute makes, our need for raw power increases. Many compromises and sacrifices have been made over the years to allow progress to continue.
What kind of compromises?
We have at times had to rely on drawing power from above-ground installations. It risks personnel and equipment, but no longer. Phase 3 is simply the activation of a nuclear reactor that can provide enough power to the Institute now and forever. It will ensure not just our survival, but our prosperity.
Sounds like an important step.
That's an understatement. The reactor is close to ready, but recent tests have determined we have a few tasks ahead of us. Thus, we come to Phase 3, and to how you will help.
Sir?
Yes, Dr. Ayo. Previously, we would rely on Kellogg for above-ground operations, yes? Well, he is gone. While I'm not overly fond of putting my own father in harm's way, he has proven more than capable of handling himself.
Yes, but...
This is not a matter for debate. Now, there is one more subject that requires discussion.
I don't know that this is the time.
Dr. Holdren, it is time. Please. As I'm sure several of you are already aware, I have been under Dr. Volkert's care for some time. I'm sorry, this is difficult for me. Our best efforts have failed. Every experimental treatment we could devise has been unsuccessful. I'm sorry to say I am dying.
No! Can't be serious!
Everyone, please. I am sorry. This is not how I wanted to tell you, but we're running out of time.
This can't be happening. I only just found you.
I've had the same thoughts more than a few times. But we cannot let this stop us. Our work must continue. We can talk more later. Right now, the future of the Institute is at stake. The Institute cannot survive without leadership. The Directorate must continue to govern with the best interest of all in mind. To that end, I am naming my father as my successor.
Oh, boy.
You can't be serious!
Really?
How can you possibly justify this? He isn't one of us. He isn't even a scientist.
Ignoring your borderline, insubordinate tone, I will simply say this. The Institute has enough scientists. What it needs is a leader. I believe my father has already proven himself more than capable in that regard. This will conclude this meeting. Thank you.
The latest synth generation is just amazing. Those guys in robotics are working miracles.
I had no idea.
I know this is... well, it's a lot to take in at once.
I'm sorry, Father. I hope it wasn't too presumptuous of me to put you in charge without even asking first.
I can do the job.
Of course you can. That's why I made the decision. There's no question that some of the Directorate and the Institute at large will need reassurances about your appointment. That's why I'd like you to take charge of this latest operation. Dr. Fillmore can fill you in on the details. There are hard decisions ahead, for all of us. But for you especially. I know that you'll do the right thing.
Good afternoon. Food products are available for purchase. Would you care for some?
You get me what we talked about, and I'm in business.
Liam, I got your username and password.
You railroad guys really deliver, you know? Hooking that ancient tech up to the modern terminals is going to be seriously time-consuming. Even with that password. So hand it over and I'll get started.
This is a delicate operation. Are you okay if we have to use violence?
Good question. If we find ourselves in that position, we pull the plug and wait for another opportunity. We can't risk anyone's life over this.
Would it be possible to rescue more synths?
Those 13 synths are the only ones we're sure we can trust. If we push our luck and get the wrong synth involved, the whole thing could unravel.
Here you go.
Great. Listen, I need a favor. Z-114 is working the atrium again. Can you give him an update? It's safer if you do it.
Scanning. Subject identified.
Busy day for you, isn't it? Well, it's about to get busier. You're going to lead this operation, I'm told.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go over the details. Recent events have upset our timetable. Getting the reactor online has become our #1 priority. It needs to be running, well, yesterday. We're going to have to cut some corners. I'm not thrilled, but it means we'll need to rely on some pre-war tech. You're going to the mass fusion building to acquire a beryllium agitator for us.
Consider it done.
I'll consider it done when I've got it in my hands. I'm going with you.
Is that really necessary? I'm sure I can handle this by myself.
Yes, it really is. Not only is this tech sensitive, it's old. Look, I'll take care of it. You just make sure I come back in one piece.
You're going? That complicates things.
Not really, no. I admit I'm not fond of going up top, but I promise to stay out of your way. This device we're after? It's very sensitive equipment, and it's pretty damn old. It's not that I don't trust you. It's just that I trust myself more. So, are you going to put up a stink, or can we get moving?
Sounds good. I'd appreciate the company.
Not as much as I'd... But here we are, with our options dwindling. Not to put more pressure on you, but we have to move quickly on this. Word is that the Brotherhood is nosing around me. We don't want them getting the agitator before... Head on up to the relay, and I'll meet you there.
I wouldn't be here if not for your son.
From what I hear, that rogue synth at Libertalia was a real menace. Glad it's back where it belongs. From what I hear, that rogue synth at Libertalia was a real menace. Glad it's back where it belongs.
It's stuck.
Have you seen J522 around? He didn't show up for duty today, and I can't seem to find him.
Did you check robotics? He was probably scheduled.
It doesn't feel right.
Shh. Keep your voice down. You know what happens if they hear you talking like this? They'll wipe you.
Greetings, sir.
I suggest you keep this to yourself.
But what if something's wrong? Look around. Courser patrols have doubled. Synths are being wiped more frequently. Something is going on.
I don't want to hear anymore. Do whatever you want. Just leave me out of it.
I know you'll achieve great things here. We all do.
Now, Alan, it could have been anything. It was probably just a glitch in the
Sounds like those raiders at Libertalia were quite a handful.
If it were just a limb twitching, perhaps. But her eyes were moving as well. Involuntary twitching and rapid eye movement while sleeping can only mean one thing, Max. You just don't want to admit to yourself what it is.
If you're about to launch into one of your impassioned speeches about artificial sentience and machines with souls, don't bother. I've heard enough of them by now. Hell, I can write them down from memory.
But we can't just ignore the question. If a synth can dream, why can't it have a soul? And if a synth has a soul, then it is a living person by every standard we can measure. Of course it is far more comfortable to think of them as machines, so we can do what we want with them.
If you disapprove of the work we do here, Dr. Binet, you know where to find the teleporter.
Now, just a moment. I never said that. I'm simply trying to open everyone's eyes to new possibilities.
Well, it's an unwanted distraction. We're men of science, not philosophers. You do well to remember that.
Hey, Doc.
You've arrived at a momentous time. Our third generation synths are a true breakthrough. The culmination of centuries. It's no exaggeration to say that they're superior in almost every way to human beings.
I can understand taking pride in your work, but I think you're getting carried away.
You might not think so now, but just wait. You've only seen a fraction of what our sense, like I said.
Max.
All maintenance requests should be directed to the
I
facilities
tend to
division.
think of robotics as the first among equals.
Nice work bringing that rogue synth back.
Hello.
You have a lot to learn if you're really going to be the next director of the Institute.
Reporting status. All functions normal.
Nothing to report, sir.
Unit X688 speaks highly of your combat skills.
I'm looking forward to the next mission.
Ahem.
Ready for the next mission, sir?
Have you got all the gear you need?
A full loadout, as you.
All systems nominal.
All this must be a little overwhelming for you.
Good to see you.
I'm trained for any combat situation. No matter what we get into, I'll be ready.
Scanning unknown identity. Clearance confirmed. I apologize for any disruptions that my work might cause you. If you encounter a hazardous chemical spill, please alert the Facilities Division immediately.
Sometimes I feel like people look at me for way too long. I don't like it.
Hi, Sean.
I heard you're gonna be in charge of the Institute someday. That sounds like a lot of work. Are you excited or scared?
Right now, kid, I'm bored with this conversation. Come on.
Okay, maybe we could talk more.
Hi, Sean.
I heard you're gonna be in charge of the Institute someday. That sounds like a...
You heard that, did you? From who?
Oh, I heard Dr. Higgs saying that you weren't qualified, and we'd all be lucky if we lived another 2 years. He's so funny sometimes.
Tell me some more about Father.
Father? He doesn't come to visit very much these days. And even when he does, he usually just talks to the other doctors.
Hi there.
Excuse me.
Father's a great man. You must be very proud.
Good to see you.
Well, I'm glad to see the relay didn't completely vaporize you.
It did, but I pulled myself together.
I suppose you did. Now, what about the ship?
I can't find it anywhere.
What? No. Volkert. Damn it! What am I gonna do?
Uh-huh. Could you make the serum here?
Here? With this? No. The serum is my only hope. Please.
Virgil?
I'm running out of time. I need that serum.
I've got it right here.
That's it. That's really it. All right. Let's see. Retrovirus has matured nicely. Density gradient is high. Recombinant counter-intron sequences look stable. Transcriptive exon strands have formed.
Has the, reverse transcriptase survived the nucleotide synthesis?
Excellent question. Yes, it has. Fascinating. Oh, did you mean that as a joke? Well, it's time. There's only one way to test it. All right. Here we go. And now, we wait.
Virgil.
Sorry. Was there something?
How long will it take?
I don't know. Nothing like this has ever been tried before. I'm going to rest for a while. In any event, you kept your end of our bargain. Thank you.
Nice.
Whatever happens, thank you.
Virgil?
We just have to wait.
Protect and serve.
Nice work bringing that rogue synth back.
I asked my friends if they'd take up arms for their freedom. I was surprised at the number of volunteers. Perhaps once the fighting begins, many others will join us. But we will fight and die very quickly unless we have weapons. A lot of them. Given the right materials, we can make our own crude but serviceable weapons. Unfortunately, we're missing.
What ingredients?
Gunpowder, laser focusing crystals, and a couple other things.
Go on.
The Institute's always expanding. Excavation just completed on one of the sublevels. The mining equipment has been packed into crates, and they haven't been moved yet. That equipment has everything we need. And thanks to Mr. Binet, the construction crew is populated solely by my friends. But they're under constant supervision. How do you feel about killing some guards?
Who's guarding them?
A good number of early model synths. Will that be a problem?
I'll do it, if it's necessary.
We could come up with no other way. After you eliminate the guards, we'll move the supplies and blow up the tunnels behind us. To the SRB, it will be a tragic construction accident that killed many synths. Rare, but not unheard of. And then, our dead friends can assemble the weapons we need. Good luck.
For goodness sake, be reasonable. I know you can hear me, now open this door. What's the use?
What's going on?
Dr. Higgs and Dr. Loken have decided to protest your appointment as Father's successor. They've taken control of the bioscience security systems and cut off our food supply.
Have they made any demands?
Not yet, but I expect they'll demand that you renounce all ties to the Institute.
Maybe I can reason with them.
I believe I can help with that. I can unlock the maintenance tunnel that leads to the bioscience observation room. From there, you should be able to communicate with Higgs. If you can't reason with them, you can use this holotape to access the command functions on the observation room terminal. That should give you some options. Just please, try to talk to them first. Use violence only. You
can't pick this.
Just give me a moment. There, it's unlocked.
Edward. Lower lift function systems offline.
Aha! I thought I heard something. Made it past the guards, hmm? Impressive.
Lawrence.
If you come to change our minds, then you're wasting your time.
I know you're angry, but there's a better way to handle this.
Oh, you're wrong. You see, I've tried talking. For years, I've suggested that we do things differently here, but nobody listens. Let's see if anyone can afford to ignore me now.
Don't you think you're being a little selfish here?
Far from it.
What we do to protect the Institute.
I thought you were a reasonable man. Maybe I was wrong.
This is much bigger than just you and I. I'm protecting decades of research and progress. The answer is no. We will not back down. Father's heir apparent. He made it past your impenetrable defenses.
But if he got that far...
Compose yourself, man. We've always known the risks, but we are still in control.
Would need the key.
Initiate.
Quickly, take cover!
Movement detected. Here, you must meet target.
It's over, Dr. Higgs.
What do you plan to do now? Kill us and take the key? Go on then. Prove how right we were.
You're beaten, Dr. Higgs. Your plan failed. Now open the door.
No. I refuse. Now do your worst.
Enough. Have you lost your mind, Lawrence? I'll do it. I'll open the door.
Max, no.
It's over, Lawrence. And you're a fool if you can't see that. Now, unless you intend to shoot me, please stand aside while I put an end to this.
Future generations will remember this decision, Max. I'll make sure of it.
Dr. Higgs.
We have several people qualified to become the next director. Father's lost his mind.
Dr. Loken.
You have a lot to learn. If you're really going to be the next director of the Institute, I suggest we confine ourselves to war.
Bravo! I admit I was fearing for the worst, but I can see that I underestimated you.
I'm just glad they listened to reason.
Indeed. There is one further matter to discuss. Obviously, some kind of disciplinary action must be taken here. The question of what form it takes is up.
There's no need to drag this out. I believe they learned their lesson.
Your compassion and understanding speak well of you. I'll take that holotape back. I also wanted to offer you something as a more personal expression of gratitude. I know that your work often takes you to the surface where supplies are scarce. I gathered these items together for you. I think you'll find them...
Sounds like those raiders at Libertalia were quite a handful.
I know you'll achieve great things here. We all do.
From what I hear, that rogue scent at Libertalia was a real menace. Glad it's back where it belongs.
Hello. Please ensure that your dietary requirements are being filled.